Welcome back. I hope your day has been going well. My day is going great. It's the morning time, it's the fall, it feels amazing. The leaves are out. I love it. But today, our video will be a continuation from my previous video. Um, my previous video really spoke about emotions and how God can help us throughout those difficult times that we go through in our life. But this video here is just about peace and about having a positive mind. Um, this really builds on from my previous video again. So let's buckle up and let's get straight into it. I mean, guard your mind from negative thoughts. Peace starts with what you allow into your mind. Um, it has been a long week for me this week, and it's a lot of negative thoughts that I can think about the situation, about certain people, really about anything. But I was reminded today that you have to always think positive, no matter the outcome. There's so many different variables that can be beneficial to you in the long run if you really just key in on those different things and focus on them. You see how I tried to hit the bug, but also like try to I don't know. But yeah, just key in on them. So not every thought is from God. Reject thoughts that steal peace. Again, that goes back to the emotion video that I had previously. Not every thought that you're going to receive and that you're going to get is from the Almighty above. So for that reason, you have to be keen and you have to take into consideration as far as what you put into your body, what you put into your system, what you look at every day. Those things can build upon something that can be dangerous or even can be beneficial for you, again, in the long run. So replace anxious thoughts with God's promises. Even in my life, that's probably one of the biggest things that I go through is just is anxiousness. Anxiousness as far as not being where I'm supposed to be exactly, or just things happening in my day to day that I realize, once time goes past that maybe I should have did this or maybe I should have said this, and it just festers into my mind. And that's something that I think everybody kind of goes through, but for me it's something that I really think about very often, and because I just want to be better every day, I want to improve every day, and I don't want to end up or be viewed as this person or this person that can't do this or this person that can do this. So I just hold myself to a high standard. But anxiousness is definitely a thought that we all need to get over. We are all just humans in this daily life. We're all just the sons of God. So, we are not perfect. So why do we make ourselves out to be perfect every single day? So replace those thoughts with God's promises. I mean, if you go throughout the Bible, He lists so many different promises that He has for us, and so many different things that He really lets us know that we are in His hands no matter what situation that we are facing. So Isaiah 26:3, you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are stayed on you. 2 Corinthians 10:5, take every thought captive to make it obedient to Christ. So moving on to number 2 is setting boundaries to protect your spirit. You can't keep peace if you let people constantly drain it. This is like, this is Bible. I mean, this is just like, this is everything. It's really who you hang out with. It's really who you're around that make who you are, really. And whether that's working at a corporation, or whether that's being on a facility job, or just even being with your family or friends, it's just like that really makes who you are. That makes your thought process. That makes your wants, and even some of the things that you're not so good at, as far as doing the wrong things in life. But the people you hang around are definitely a big factor. Okay. So moving on to number 2, setting boundaries to protect your spirit. You can't keep peace if you let people constantly drain it. This is huge. This is Bible. I mean, whether it's from the job, whether it's at home, whether it's friends, this really is the say all be all. Not all the time, but for the most part, it really is, you know. And you really become who you hang with. And so you want to make sure that the people around you have the like minds that you do. Or let's say you don't even have the like minds for it. You want to make sure you get around people that have what you are seeking out to be or seeking out to do. And so it really is just very impactful. I mean, I could really like tell a story about this, but I don't want to get in, too in depth with this. But I would just say, just monitor who you hang out with, and not everybody who you hang out with regarding family is bad for you. Sometimes those people are just there to really build you up and challenge you in your day-to-day life. They challenge you more than, or they should challenge you more than the people, on the outside looking in. So, not every thought is from. No, my bad. Saying no is sometimes obedience to God. Uh, Setting boundaries. So everybody has their own certain limits on what they can take and what they can let inside their body, or what they can view with their eyes or touch with their hands or even listen to in their ears. So God set boundaries for everyone. Everyone has boundaries. Not just God, but even us individually, we have boundaries for ourselves against other people. But what I will say is, you need to know the grace that you have in a certain area. You need to know your limitation as far as how much you can take, how much you can listen to, how much you can watch. If you watch this much, I might sin. Or if I listen to this much music, or if I switch over to this music, then it's going to be a problem. So you want to take into consideration. So you want to take in, oh my gosh, you want to take into consideration what is best for you, and that is a conversation that you have to ask God for, and that will bring you even more peace in that situation and area. So Proverbs 4:23, guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. Protecting your peace protects your purpose. You can protect your peace, everything will go smoothly. When you are, on a rampage and you can't keep your mind off just all the things that's causing harm to you, you won't be in peace. And for that reason, your mind will always jump to one place to another. Amos 3:3. Can two walk together unless they agree? There you go. I'm not saying everybody around you has to be a yes man. I'm not saying everybody around you has to have the same views as you. But everyone around you should have the same spirit as you. Moving on to number 3, choose God's voice over the enemy's noise. The enemy attacks peace through fear, doubt, and lies. Discernment protects your spirit. So there can be so many people just lying to you constantly that you don't even know really. And usually I feel like lying stems from some type of unsanctified place in someone's life that they feel left out at. And that really is, a key factor in why people lie, is to make up a cover for themselves or a situation. So you have to have discernment to not just take what everyone says, take it with a grain of salt and move on from it. But not just discernment in, dealing with people. You have to have discernment just in general, whether that's being, in a certain area, in a certain area of a city or a country or a state, or just understanding that you have to have discernment over, again, what you put into your body. So God's voice brings peace, clarity, and stillness. When you feel peace and joy, that's when you know it's right for you, and not sinfully. So scriptures, John 10:27, my sheep hear my voice. 1 Corinthians 14:33, for God is not the author of confusion, but of peace. So moving on to number 4, protect your peace by letting go of what you can't control. Anxiety grows when you try to manage everything. Surrender brings rest. You have to surrender to God. You can't just let the problems of life, the problems of what you're going through every day, deter you from reaching out to God, asking God questions, using the resources He gave you, whether it's books or people around you. You have to be of some cheer. You have to learn how to reach out and be an advocate for yourself. Trust shifts the weight from you back to God. So when you do this, you give God the power to control your life. Usually when you're anxious, you make irrational decisions that lead to problems in your life. But when you hand it over to God, that lets God control your life, but not just control your life on a grand scale and grand scheme of things, but He also can get a better connection with you to understand you even more. And that's really what He seeks, is to understand you better. So 1 Peter 5:7, cast all your cares on Him, for He cares for you. Philippians 4:6-7, do not be anxious, and the peace of God will guard your heart. So stay connected to God daily, whether that's being in His presence, whether that's worshiping, whether that's, speaking in tongues. Peace grows when you are spiritually fed. The more you feed your spirit, the more you get close to Him. And the more you get closer to Him, the more you align with peace and your purpose. So surround yourself with peace-bringing people. That's one thing I just want to let you know. And practice gratitude and commitment in those different areas of your life that you are having challenges. So just to leave you off with something, I just want to say, just keep on going. Life is hard and things are bound to happen. But don't let a situation get the best of you. That situation can turn around and be the best thing that ever happened to you. And it's so funny how a lot of times things happen when you jump into a new season, from the old season. The old season is just a steady flow. You're doing great. You're doing amazing. But then once something new happens, in this little slot right here, once you cross that little gap, that's when everything changes. It's more of a learning curve. You have to have better patience. You have to have better understanding. You have to ask questions to Him, because in those moments, we need to lean on Him more. So don't be surprised when, little mishaps or things come up that you didn't expect. But just know that God already knew this ahead of time. And He's planning on working in this situation that's going to perplex you in the long run. So I want to say just thank you and have a great day. Subscribe, everyone. And I'll catch you soon. My name is Lennox.